Well, Dr. Stone's alive. What? You're not surprised? Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Thanks for watching Everything Anime Podcast. Here we talk about everything from anime, video games, manga, and to whatever relevant topic we feel like talking about. Today's video is a second video, part 2 for DrStone. And we are at, I believe it was the last arc we did was Tsukasa versus Senku, DrStone. Well, now we're in what's called the Iron Age arc, or that's what I'm going to call it for the video. And so where we last left off is Tsukasa took out Senku by hitting him on the back of his neck, like just supposedly killing him, like severing his neck, one clean hit. And as this happened, Taiju, who was gathering like more materials for building gunpowder, shows back up. And at the last minute, he sees Senku's death. Yuzu is also there because she was being used as a hostage for Tsukasa so he can learn how to use the revival fluid, which is nitrocic acid. Yeah, words today. Anyways, so what happens is now in the present day, Taiju is enraged. He thinks Senku's dead. He's pissed off and he's overflowing with power. And I thought in this moment, this is where Tsukasa or Taiju enters his attack phase, because his whole thing is defending people with his body. So you know how like in Bleach, Chad has his right arm for defense, Abuelo, and his left arm for attack, the devil. So I thought like maybe Taiju was gonna have something like that. Nope. Instead, Taiju lifts up this heavy rock. He throws it in the air, and Tsukasa's following it. He's like, I think he's gonna attack me with that. What's he up to? Why is he throwing that rock in the air? While he's doing that, Yuzu is already on sync. She's synchronized with Taiju in his mind. Like I said, they're perfect. They're a perfect pair. This author shows off this perfect pair. Like, I hate to say perfectly. Use like need better words, but perfectly. And so Yuzu goes and she grabs black powder, gunpowder. She throws it onto Tsukasa. And Tsukasa, he didn't think she's a threat, and that's going to come up in a second. He doesn't think women are a threat. He didn't think women can be a challenge. So he's just watching this rock, confused about what's happening. As the rock comes back down, it ignites the gunpowder because of like the power and strength from that, like hitting the earth, and it makes a giant explosion. Now I thought in that moment that Taiju and Yuzu were trying to kill Tsukasa, but it was to make a diversion so they could get away with Senku's body. And they run away, they get away. Obviously, Tsukasa's not dead from that. I don't know how he survived that. He's crazy strong. But Tsukasa was thinking in that moment, he's like, oh, I underestimated that woman for the second time. I underestimated her. And she got the upper hand of me. But it doesn't matter that they got away. I need to go, as long as Senku's dead, there is no one that can oppose me. There's no scientist that'll destroy my future dictatorship, basically. And so as the story continues, like, Yuzu and Taiju, they're crying over Senku's body, and there's some hilarious shenanigans where like Taiju's trying to give Senku the kiss of life, but it's Yuzu, I believe. I might be wrong, but Yuzu's like, well, is he always scratching on the back of his neck for something? And they realized that he had a piece of stone on the back of his neck. And the reason why that's important is because it protected him when Tsukasa attacks Senku's neck. So he's not dead, but he does need that revival fluid put on the back of that rock to restore the back of his neck and stuff like that. And we get like this flashback of DrStone waking up at some point in the past. And, I think a year or so ago. And it is confirmed now. It's confirmed that swallows and humans were the only ones afflicted by that curse or the phenomenon. Because I remember saying that in the first video. I was like, why is it that animals and dogs weren't petrified, but humans and the bird was, that one bird we had, or two birds we had saw in the beginning of the story. Well, even DrStone doesn't know. And he's making these theories like, was it an alien attack? Was it a new virus? Was this like a government weapon, bioweapon? Like, he doesn't know. And so I think that's the mystery of the ongoing mystery of this whole arc and story is figuring out like, why did this happen? Like, what caused it? And so the other thing that you have to remember from part 1 video is that there was 3 fires that lit up when DrStone first ignited that rock, letting him know that other humans are out there. So Senku is out looking for those, or Senku decides like, hey, I'm going to go out and find these other humans. Yuzu, Taiju, you guys are my best friends, but I need you to stay here while I go find other people. You two stay together. I'm going to go find people that I can help build modern society or bring modern society back. And Taiju and Yuzu are down for that. So in this new arc, we open with Tsukasa's point of view continuing. He's the first to run into one of these humans, and it's a girl. And once again, he doesn't think she's a threat. She like comes at him all like, flowers. She had flowers in her hand, all sweet, walking to him. She pulls out a knife, tries to attack him, and this is the third time, because the first time Yuzu surprised him by holding the knife to her own neck, trying to take her life. Second time, Yuzu surprised him by throwing a gunpowder on him at the same time that Taiju threw down the rock. And this is the third time that a woman attacks him with a knife, and she's got crazy combat skills. But Tsukasa's obviously stronger. He knows automatically, like Senku, like, you're not from our revival group. Like, the way you're attacking, the way you're dressed, you seem too primitive to be, and it was weird to say primitive because like they're the new generation, but like they're from a time without technology, without modern society, so they are primitive. So he calls it like primitive. He's like, oh, you're not worthy of being into my new world. But at the same time, he's like, if I fight her to the death, I'm leaving Yuzu and Taiju to possibly go after the nitrocitric acid. I wasn't call it the revival fluid. He's worried they're going to go after the revival fluid. So he just like subdues her by chopping down a tree and pinning her down, and he's like, oh, you'll die one way or the other without me because you can't get up from that, and he runs off. Now Senku, who was nearby and heard their battle, heard the tree fall, he goes there and he meets this girl, and the girl's name is Kohaku, I think. I still haven't watched the anime yet. I'm going to finish the manga before I watch the anime, but her name's Kohaku, and DrStone's like, I can save your life, but you have two options. I can either blast you out with some dynamite or your gunpowder, but you might die. You'll definitely take some damage from that. Or two, if you give me some time, I can get you out with science. And she's like, I can endure this. Go ahead and do what you got to do. And so he, using his brilliant mind, he crafts together this makeshift pulley, and she believes it's magic, although DrStone announces that it's just science. And he saves her. She's wounded, but they like form a friendship. And DrStone, once again, like I said, he's a weakling. One thing he did try to do, he tried to lift the tree himself, but like he was too weak, so that's why he built the pulley. But yeah, she has barbaric strength, primitive strength, or not primitive strength, but she has like inhuman strength. And so they have this like bond where like she's going back to her village, and DrStone's like, there's other humans out here, and he theorizes that maybe hundreds of years ago, DrStone and Taiju weren't the first humans to wake up. There must have been other humans that woke up somehow. He doesn't know how. He didn't know if it was a revival fluid or if it was some other way that they woke up. But other humans woke up, and hundreds of them, because like there's a civilization out there. So they bond together by like, she's carrying this hot springs water back to her village, because like it's for her, she tells DrStone it's for training, but it's really to help her sister, who's the shamaness of that village. I think her name is Ryuri or something like that. And DrStone, because she got injured, she struggles to like carry the water back. So DrStone tries to hold it up for her. He immediately is taken out. He's immediately too weak, and so he builds this like trolley or like little car out of the pulley that he made, and they go down together to the village. And once we get to the village, he's immediately attacked by Rinko and Genko or something like that. And that's because they're not used to outsiders. They know that Doctor Strange is one of those people that were like in stone, because we don't know if they don't realize that they're from that same generation of people that were revived, because it's not clear. It's not even Doctor Stone theorizes that he doesn't know, but it is known that like there were others besides these 40 people that they kicked out, because they talked about like, we kicked out the bad people before, and we don't trust Dr. Stone. We don't trust those people that came from the stone. We don't know them. And even though Kohaku vouches for Dr. Stone because he saved her life, they're still like, we can't do that. But then she challenges them to a fight. She's like, you can both fight me one-on-one. And they're scared of her, and we can theorize like, okay, this girl is not only a badass in strength, she's probably the baddest of the village. And then we meet a new character. His name is Chrome. He believes he's a sorcerer, but it's this funny dynamic between him and Senku, Dr. Stone, but Chrome and Senku, is that Senku believes that he's doing magic, where Dr. Stone's like, you're mixing rocks with, like, he's all right. So at one point Senku, let me start over. when Dr. Stone got to the village. When Ginkgo and Rinko attacked him, Dr. Stone, I can say, he obviously can't physically fight, so he mixes the soap bar that he had with water, and with the hot water that she brought, and it makes bubbles. And they're like so odd because they've never seen bubbles before, so like they're trying to attack the bubbles, and like when I attack it, more bubbles are forming. It's just really funny gimmicks. So getting to when Chrome comes in, they also believe Chrome is magic. They believe Dr. Stone is magic. Everybody, Chrome, Kohaku, Rinko, and Ginkgo believe that Dr. Stone's magic, or he has more magic powers than Chrome. But Chrome is literally throwing these rocks into like a fire pit, and it's turning the fire from purple, green, blue, like colors of the rainbow. He calls it Rainbow Bridge. And Dr. Stone, knowing knowledge and science, is like, oh, it's actually this, and this. It's not that. It's not magic or something like that. And so Chrome challenged Dr. Stone to like a battle of science versus magic, and obviously he loses. Dr. Stone outsmarts him. And just more funny gimmicks that happen. But then we get into the meat of the story, the meat of the Stone Age arc, is that the shamaness, Kohaku's sister Ryuri is sick. And they don't know anything about modern medicine. They don't know anything about like antibiotics or penicillin. And so Dr. Stone's like, okay, if you guys let me stay here in this village, I will help you recreate medicine, and we'll heal your sister. And so they agree. They go on this little adventure to go find ways to make medicine. I forgot exactly what it was. Dr. Stone is a very intelligent manga. I got to tell you, it teaches kids. It's teaching me things I didn't realize about science and stuff like that, and it's really intriguing. But they basically go on an adventure to go find a way to make an antibiotic, basically a way to make penicillin and stuff like that. And while they're on this adventure, Dr. Stone tells them about what happened 3,700 years ago, I believe he said. And it blows their mind, like they're like, wow, like I had no idea. And Dr. Stone, thinking that he's the smartest, of all of them, because technically he is, at least in that age, he's the smartest. He's like telling them things about the world and how things worked and stuff like that. And at one point, they're looking up at the stars, and Dr. Stone, they're like, why is that star the brightest? And Dr. Stone's like, oh, that's the North Star. It always shines the brightest. But then Chrome flips the script on Dr. Stone. He's like, well, that's not north. And he does like this old trick that we use in modern day too, where like you put a leaf in water and I think something on top of it, and the leaf will always point true north, and the leaf is pointing the opposite way of the North Star. So Dr. Stone's like, at some point during that phenomenon or whatever happened that day, the earth flipped on its axis. The earth has flipped somehow. And so not only was everybody turned into stone, all humans and swallows turned to stone except for animals, but the earth flipped on its axis. So that could have something to do with what's going on. We still don't know what's going on behind the phenomenon, but Dr. Stone believes that like these primitive people, he can turn them into scientists. He can turn them into the modern age of science, whereas like Tsukasa is still in the background going to revive who he wants to revive for his new world order. It's about to rain, so I'm going to cut this video short. But yeah, I just want to give a new setting until I get back to home, because I travel on the road. I can't have like a one setting yet, but I do want to get like a background so you guys have stuff to look at when I'm doing these videos. But yeah, that's all for now. We'll continue DrStone Part 3 in about 2 weeks or so. We'll see. But bye for now, guys.